Hey yo YouTube, I'm here to make a quick video about the side missions that and Hyde are going through um, right off the bat. Maybe from memory the first time ever. Right off the beginning of the session, the DM tells us to roll a listen check. So we make a roll. I believe he tells us that we hear like a thumping sound. Um, I want to say we do a spot check too after that, and only Er sees it. Or, I don't know, in my notes I have it that Er's the one that yells out that something's coming. So, for the first time in my videos, this early, let's old school DSP this and take a look at the map. So, we see four of these creatures. Um, the DM describes them as the if you ever seen like the 80s movie The Prophecy, where there's this like bear with its skin inside out, it says it pretty much looks like they pretty much look like that, but instead of a bear they're like sloths. I believe it's the Mongrelmen that tells us that we can dispatch of them, but don't kill them because they're Mongrelmen with giant blood. So I yell out to that we're not able to kill them. Is like, why not? I think I tell them they're Mongrelmen. Uh, and player's like, dang, I'm gonna have to not use my weapon because I'm a frenzy berserker. If something attacks me, I could go into a frenzy. And like me and the DM say you could just try to resist it, and like I say, like you don't have to not use your axe. You could do non-lethal damage, but you'll do a -4 to attack. So let's take a look at initiative, and like for the first time ever, it's only like one page for initiative. But it looks like Gideon, the Bard, these giant mongrel men, the Parisha Priestess, and then Mihide. So before we even started initiative, my hide hid in this little like shack thing that was across that was the opening for the bridge, and Gideon holds, and I hear say on his turn that he does go into a rage, and I'm thinking, oh, he's not going to be able to control it. His mic keeps on cutting out, and then once when he finally gets it through, pretty much he says that he jumps on it and starts pummeling, pretty much saying he's attacking unarmed, and the DM ended up interpreting that as non-lethal. Um, it's funny because like all three sessions of this, there's been like a moment where I wasn't sure if may or may not attack something and end up messing it up. But this time in particular, I really liked how he went about it, just attacking with his hands. So on Hyde's turn, he does a 5-foot step, gets one sneak attack, full attack on this one, ends up squaring off with him. Um, Eventually, Gideon squares off with that one. Both of us are using non-lethal, and it goes pretty smoothly. Like they hit hard, but they have low AC. With the exception of not doing his full damage, fighting with his bare hand. That's really the only speed bump we really hit. I wanna say, I wanna say, the one Hyde gets fighting gets dropped first, and then Gideon's. I know after that, I move my way to here and flank this one. And I want to say I only hit it once and it drops too. And I know at one point player gets frustrated, but he ends up defeating it before he ends up pulling his axe out. And when the mob gets cleared, more Mongrelmen show up. And their chieftain is this little troll-looking one. Says he's real small. I kind of mentioned in the DM, does he look like Yoda? He's kind of, sort of. So the chieftain or the shaman ask why you're here. I asked the bard mongrel man to fill him in. Um, eventually, like I tell them, the we're creating a horde. We're trying to make an alliance with them. Uh, and like I do say something about how I ask if the mines are. Is it true that the mines could be orc mines? And he definitely interprets this as the orc king might want to take their lands and stuff. I try to smooth it out and say like I'm sure we could find something both groups could be happy with. Uh, I do say like when we get this area, we could plead sanctuary under the cult of many arrows. And he's kind of like what if we don't want to? What if we want our homes to be the mines and stuff like that? And apparently he says something about there being thousands of. And again, for the most part, it doesn't really seem to go too well. Like the DM asked me to do a diplomatic check. I think I rolled a 13, maybe 11. Nothing higher than that, I know. And at first, the mongrel shaman says that he'll go and think about this for us to wait here. And then I say that we're starting a council and we really hope that they join. And that's when he goes, "What are you talking about this council?" And I'm like, we're creating a council to be an alternative to the coalition. And he's like, "You mean the human coalition?" And I asked the DM if there's any alternative names. And he says not really, so I kind of say, yeah, the human coalition. And I tell them how we're in talks. And like he asks, like who's interested? We say the VFW or talk with the Orc King. And when he hears about this land, he'll probably surely want to join. And if he joins, then the Goblin City will follow. And I mentioned that I'm a Vatir and that I'm from a world that has a humanoid empire. And and that the cult of many arrows came to this world to spread their word. And that's when he says that for us to join him and that he would like to know more about this humanoid empire. Um, he ends up taking us to a big cave, something like that. Like the food that they have for the human characters, like the few human characters that are with us, it's unedible. I kind of at one point tell them that Hyde for half of his life, which is only like 7 years, because he's only like 12 as a bugbear, that he was a slave in Glabonia until the orcs and goblinoids of Mirabog eventually freed him and he joined their army, eventually joining the cult of many arrows, eventually joining their kingdom. Uh, but for the most part, besides telling him I tell him the history of Old Bold Many Arrows and kind of how it grew into an empire and how the few members of the cult of many arrows came here to spread their word. Um, I do say that like after that I approach the bard, or at some point I approach the bard and ask if he's like human bards where they like telling and learning new stories, and he's like yes, but the only really stories I know are the Mongrelmen's and recently the Knoll ones, and I tell him that he should continue to join this campaign and tell the story of this new empire or this new coalition that's forming. And eventually he agrees to pretty much become the chronicler. And Hyde says, being on this expedition, he has more authority than usual and grants him the title, the Heart of Many Arrows. And his name is like Irish or something like that, so he says, I'm Irish, Hearts of Many Arrows for now on. And that's where the DM ends up wrapping it up. Real quick, short session. We're supposed to have another one tonight, so hopefully that'll be fun. Predictions on that. I don't know. I'm going to ask if there's any tribes that will ally themselves. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Uh, Heavily thinking about in our next battle keeping someone alive and sacrificing them to Grinch. So we'll see about that. You want to know? Check out my next video, and I'll check you later.